turning off the air conditioner, and I am back. It is Sunday, the 14th of June. Am I okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Really glad that I went ahead and just, unloaded earlier, because it's like, I'm just done. Of course, it goes on, someone left some bullshit that I had to delete on that one. It's like, no, there's all kinds of people, and it's like, some of y'all are just on your own trip, and it's like, I'm not having it. If you're talking shit, you just have to go the fuck away. That's all I got to say. I will talk about music on this one. But no, it's not going to be just music. Go the hell away. Don't you get it? I'm real. I'm just a person in this house in Omaha, Nebraska. Music lover. Been collecting all my life. This is my obsession since I was a little boy, okay? This is not some Johnny-come-lately bullshit where I just discovered, vinyl in the 90s or something. If I had all the records I've ever owned, because I've been through some changes, I couldn't live in this house. I'd have easily double what I have now. And I love having the access. That's a big part of it. It's a library. I love having access to these artifacts. The music, of course, is available online, but this is a library. I love it. That's what it's about. Thank you for hearing me. Thank you for your support. Brother Alphaster, it's good to hear from you. I know that it's been a long time since we've been in touch. I am like that. It's nothing personal. I still regard you highly and consider you a friend, although I know that in a two-way way, that's not really how you keep friendships solid, but you're there in my life. You are. I appreciate you very much. So I just got back from Egypt's place. She's staying in town with her sister. She just found out that Jamaica is opening back up, so she'll be able to go back to Jamaica here soon. But I was able to get some more CDs, and I will be selling them. Yes, $10 plus postage. I have set up a link on my blog site, dbhrecordingsblogspot.com. And there are active links to PayPal, so you can just order it direct. I'm real proud of this. Really proud to be on Bob Marley's record label. It's just awesome. So I got some more records in, and I also pulled some records because whoever sent me this book, thank you very much. I am getting into it. Yes, I'm actually went back and started to read it, and I'm reading it, and it's like I'm getting into it. This guy, it's like a first-person account in some ways, but his descriptive way and what he's talking about and the origins of what we call progressive music coming out of psychedelia, it's spot on. And I'm loving it, so I've been listening to some stuff that the book is called. In particular, I'll go ahead and show what it got me to listening to some The Nice, Keith Emerson and The Nice. This is a reissue of the 5 Bridges and Elegy on one album. It's a great shot of his on stage wildness as well as on the inside. I listened to that, but I really got into this, the American version of The Nice, the one that it looks like a book cover on the UK original. I love that this is on the Immediate, that old Immediate label that Ichiku Park and Small Faces were on as well. I have a CD with the other UK cover. Really enjoyed this. Lee Jackson's voice and the My Back Pages and the overwrought singing on it. Really got into it. You know, it was like these guys were breaking ground, and what they were doing was new. And Keith Emerson was very consciously trying to build a bridge between the classical and the rock. Really got into it as I was reading the book. Also listened to part of this, Elegy by the Nice, on the wonderful Charisma label. Hypnosis, Storm Thorgerson cover here. The famous Hypnosis, made famous by Pink Floyd primarily. So I was listening to this stuff and getting into the history of this, you know, reading his perspective. It's like I have been translating throughout my life fairly accurately what was going on through the music in England. Because of the Beatles, it really was an early hot spot of interest for me musically and culturally. Swing in London, and then there and all parts thereafter. So again, whoever sent me this book, thank you. Thanks a bunch. Oh my goodness, I messed up my coffee. Okay. So I'm gonna have to dump that before I drink it. There's just a little bit of dish soap in it. Ew. So I've been able to recently get some reissues of records that I've wanted, originals of forever. And this is one right here. A friend of mine who I had to move away from in my life. I love him and his family dearly. But because of many issues, we had to part ways. But he had a copy of this album, and I could never find it. Gila, Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. This is a really cool album. It is, in essence, Popol Vuh with Connie Veit's girlfriend singing, and the album primarily doing his compositions, whereas Popol Vuh is, again, focused on Florian Fricke. But this is Garden of Delights, limited edition, really good pressing. There's an insert that it goes into great detail about the story. This is one of my top albums. It's in the top 25. It's spiritual, it's flowing, it's hippie, but it's good. It's musically solid. You know, nothing weak about this at all. So glad I finally got a copy of that. Here's another one that I just never was able to score an original. And so I got a reissue of Interface by Heldon on the wonderful Souffle Incontenu label. I love this cover. Isn't that just a great concept? No doubt Daft Punk, I would say, this is French. Daft Punk are French. This goes back to the 70s. Richard Pinhas, he's the man. Surely Daft Punk got some inspiration from this cover for their getup. I don't know that, but I bet you. Fantastic Patrick Gauthier on this. Just heard from him. And at first I thought it was just regular black flannel, but it's actually green. Kind of a, almost not green sparkly, but it's almost like got kind of a texture to it. This is really quite good. Helden. Richard Pinhas was deeply inspired by King Crimson, Robert Fripp. Large tongue, that particular, I think, period really turned him on, and you hear it in the music and his approach. But this is really good and highly recommended if you don't know this. So I got that in. Here's a band that I've had one of their albums, but it was like issued after the fact, after the band had broken up. So I got one of their albums Out of Focus, German band, Wake Up. Now, what's interesting is this band is considered kraut progressive, but this is one of those bands that's really kind of like a Hawkwind, where the playing is, you can hear that these guys aren't the greatest players, but they have some strong ideas, and this, what's going on as a group, there's something happening with these people. So there's a vitality to this music, even though it's kind of raggedy, you know what I'm saying? And I just love the title of the first song, See How a White Negro Flies. Good album, Wake Up by Out of Focus out of Germany. Very happily added another Magma to my collection. I was thinking that this was just going to be one where I'm adding it and I'm not going to dig it too much. I don't know why I thought that. Merci. This came out originally, I think, way back in 1984. And this is a 2015 vinyl pressing. This is unusual for Magma in that Christian Vander really doesn't play any drums on here. He's got a couple of other drummers playing drums. He does a lot of singing and some programming. But this is really good. It's almost pop for Magma. But it's really, really good. And again, this music, I find it feels very vital to me. And just somehow inspiring. And I just feel this energy that's coming from it that relates to this fire that I feel and that I know that I'm sharing with a lot of people, not just black people. That's so wonderful about what's going on here. This is not a race thing. You know, ignorant people don't understand the ignorance and that's why I'm calling it out as a mental illness and a mental dysfunction. People don't get it, you know, that there's something wrong with racial hatred in this time in the world. There's just no use for it. It's it's not useful. And so I just feel this vitality with the world, you know, that we're saying, man, we're really tired of this one-tenth of 1% inequity that's really on the necks of damn near everybody. It's coming through. Here's some records that I just played. There's more that I bought, that I got in. I'm so happy that I'm able to buy records now. But this is a Camel album, Breathless. The big prog track on here is Echoes. I posted this in big discussion. Everyone loves the track Echoes. I do too. But this whole album is dreamy. Progressive and pop at the same time. Interesting how tuneful Camel's music was, and yet this would be, I think this is something that all these years we really have deserved to be hearing this on the radio alongside the Eagles and Lynyrd Skynyrd and Billy Joel. I just think it's been a crime, you know, that this music's been shut out from the mainstream. It's not that it's not accessible, it's that people haven't been allowed to hear it. Got into a jag of some Allan Holdsworth last night. Had to play this shit loud. Sand, I love this album. And reading the book shed light on this. I posted on this. Sure enough, a fan posted, oh yeah, too much syntax on this. And I just posted back, reading about what Allan was attempting to do on this album really shed some light on it. And that's exactly what Allan was doing, and he was super excited by the possibilities of the syntax. What he does with it on here is wonderful. So I'm not hearing that, but that's not my opinion. It really wasn't from the beginning. You know, it was like I had to make an adjustment to syntax, but I knew that he wanted to sound like a horn. So it's like, okay, yeah, he's getting there. And then this, Metal Fatigue, just a killer album. A couple more of what I got, because I've gotten a good enough amount of music in since I've gone COVID. I haven't been showing everything. I've been really pleased, though, to be adding things that I've been wanting for a long time in my collection. I have the original of his first solo album, but have missed out on getting this one, so I just bought this recent reissue, with an extra album of unreleased material, Tim Blake's New Jerusalem. Synthesist, he was with Gong for a time, but he has his own thing. Now this gets a little bit hippy-dippy with some of the lyrics and singing, but his use of synthesizers and his voice on the synthesizer is very strong, and so it rises above those sometimes to me cringeworthy vocals. Really happy, and I listened to the unreleased stuff. That stuff's good too. Tim Blake, he's still going. This is a good bootleg. I thought about this for a long time, and I finally said, yeah, I'll get it. I listened to it online. This is good. Live in Hannover. This is after Damo was gone. So Michael Caroli does most of the singing, but can. And this is a great performance. And the recording is decent. It's not great, but it's pretty decent. It's a pretty electric performance, though. The interplay, Jackie and Holger Zukai, the whole band. I love Can. This is a good 1976. Well worth it. Went ahead and picked up on this. I like the band Placebo. Belgian, yes. Marc Moulin was the keyboardist behind that band. I hope I'm not getting this wrong. My Placebo, is it quick? I can grab it. Anyway, I was reading about this as I'm looking for the Placebo, if I can. I'm pretty sure this is Marc Moulin. Yes, Placebo. I knew it. This is a long since discontinued album of his, solo album of his, Sam Suffy. This is great. This is an unauthorized reissue, so it looks like an original. It's pressed well, This is a great jazz rock, and then the B-side is one thematic piece that's jazzy and a bit proggy. Great musicians on this. This is really good. Marc Moulin. From the band Placebo. Now here's a recent band that I finally got on. I've been listening to them on the internet, but didn't have anything because I don't really like to buy CDs. Finally got some vinyl. I think they're from Scotland. North Atlantic Oscillation, Fog Electric. This is modern day, what I guess you'd call prog. Very, very good. Two people with other musicians. The guy's timbre of his voice brings to mind 10cc, and the other person just escapes me, but they use harmonies, like really rich harmonies and neat chord changes. Wonderful. North Atlantic Oscillation. So those are some new things. I got a album in from Victor Zeidner from L'Amour. I need to absorb it before I talk about it. Okay, folks, I'm listening to you. Like I say, you say something that that I'm not vibing with. It's out of here, Stay well. We're not even done with the first wave, and people are trying to talk about the second wave. We're in deep shit. So we got to do what we need to do to stay well. Please be well.